you know, again, she was thinking more of ancient cultures, what was really, really important to them through the beginnings of creating these writing systems. So she was kind of mimicking maybe how a Phoenician scribe or might think in regards to developing her concepts. So she has rock and wheat shaft pulled together. Obviously, we redrew the rock to be more, I don't know, sharp edged and kind of crunchy looking. But so she did revisit this. So this isn't what she ended up with. And you do not have to do the names in Phoenician or Greek, so we're not going to talk about those. Those are very pretty though. When people pull them off, it gives people a chance to be really artistic. Here are some re-sketches on the rock and the wheat shaft, by the way. So there were re-sketches going on. Sorry about all the noise. Tracing paper makes this wonderful, just, I don't know, crazy noise. I love it. Now let's go into the next phase of this. Now she did do visual research online. She printed things out. I have lots of her prints, black and white, of the various things that she was researching in her folder. What I recommend you do is I recommend you keep a paper folder and put your project in that, because I know you're really busy and you're probably taking more than one class, but if you keep things organized in a paper folder, it really helps you know where your stuff is, and when you're ready to work on it, you can go right to it. Now, the next thing that we did after sketches, and you don't want to skip any steps, guys. The power of design oftentimes is in the process. Without going through the process, you oftentimes end up with something anybody could do, but through thinking and revisiting and redrawing or retracing, you really can develop some things that are one-of-a-kind solutions to problems. And that's what we are. We're problem solvers. We create custom, one-of-a-kind solutions to people's problems. If it looks like anybody could have done it and it looks generic, that's not what they're paying you for. Custom, one-of-a-kind solutions to problems. Okay, let's move on to, let's see, I have Xerox copies of the drafts, but I think I'll go more along the lines of the, excuse me, we don't usually Xerox copy the drafts, so I'm not sure why those are in the folder. So you don't need a Xerox machine at home. Though that would be nice. I wish I had a Xerox machine at home. Take this staple out so it's easier to show them to you. She changed, so we decided to vote on her music thing. We said, you know, it's better to just go instrument. If you're going pictographic, you can touch an instrument. So what she did is she enlarged this sketch and she placed it within an 8-inch by 8-inch square. It's a requirement that these are fitting within an 8-inch by 8-inch space. So the thing that she had done, and I'll do some demos on this, how to go from one step to another. I'll do them in a video. But we drew 8 by 8-inch square, blew the sketch up. Some people scan them in and print them out, and some people Xerox them, and some people just maybe do the grid thing where they grid out the small sketch and then they grid out the paper and they do it that way. But it's some people even have seen them even trace them off their monitor after they've photographed them. So be careful about that. You don't want to ruin your computer. But here is what is considered a first draft. It's executed again in the marker. I expect you guys to execute in marker for everything. Even if you start in pencil, go over it with marker. And the first draft for this was the instrument. And it looks a little rough because there's pencil on the back, and that's a really cool little trick. We basically create like a graphite rubbing, and we trace it down onto the Bristol. So some of these look a little messy because of that pencil. She's cleaned up the boat, and this is her pictograph of her boat. Now you'll notice that there was a comment here regarding maybe we even simplify it more, because that's a, you know, if you think about writing systems, and the one we use today, you're not putting down more than 4 strokes for any letter. I think M has 4, F has 3, E has 4. So when we're talking about symbols that represent objects and the whole evolution of these objects and symbols into alphabets or letters for the alphabet, we decided that this was a little too complicated, a little too much information. Simplify it. It is a beautiful symbol, but can we simplify it? If the answer, and still kind of recognize it as a boat, if the answer is yes, then do it. Here is the pictograph for wheat shaft. Simple. A lot of strokes, but you know, how many can you take away? The rock, that nice and crunchy and heavy feeling. The line weight, she's working on it on these on these drafts. These are called first drafts. I don't call them rough drafts. They're not, first drafts shouldn't be rough. I don't want people to say, well, you know, it's a rough draft, so it's supposed to look rough. That's an excuse for turning in trash. We're not looking for trash. Your clients oftentimes see first drafts, and you would never show your clients trash. So these are called first drafts. I don't call them rough drafts. Other instructors might. I don't. So it's a rock. First draft. I'm sorry for being a stickler, but I get too many excuses for garbage, and I don't want to see garbage. Here's her wave. Really simplified that. You know, super clean. Take it down to just a few strokes, and then work on the line. Line is extremely critical in this project. Wimpy, thin line that you can't see very well. Not a real good expressive line. Now here is another large, full-size sketch that she had done on the boat. Still looks like a boat, simplified. Okay, so there's a great example of simplifying the process. Here we're going through hundreds, if not thousands, of years of evolution that it took maybe a symbol going from Phoenician to Greek to Roman to us. You know, she just does it. I guess we're super evolved. We just do these in just 10 minutes. Sounds kind of pompous, but we just have thought, you know, we're just building on what's happened before us. Now here's where she's combined the two symbols to create an ideograph. They're not combined, okay? This is not what we're looking for. Placing one symbol over the top of another or just putting it in the center. What we need to try to look for are the things that these two have in common. What elements do they have in common? Or how can you get them to come together to create more of this symbiotic relationship, you know, where they become a same type thing. So this was her first attempt, and hey, you know, it happens to the best of us. We don't always get it right the first time. And then here is the second attempt, where she is recognizing how she can meld or combine these two literally into a pictographic, or excuse me, ideographic symbol. Again, this is representing milling or to grind, and that works out a lot better. The two become one. Okay, we're not looking for you to just put one on top of the other or just place it over. Really review the line work and figure out what things have in common and combine them. This was her ideograph for Voyage or Journey. Again, pretty busy. Busy is not usually better. Less is more. And so we were discussing that, and this ended up getting a little bit lighter in how much line was being used as well. Now she outlined it. She should have filled these in, but when we're working kind of quickly from one thing to another, sometimes we'll just outline it. So imagine those lines filled in with black. So this is a little bit more simplified. I would think you could simplify it even more by taking that line out and moving the sail down, and this becomes the bottom of the ship. So this could be pushed and simplified even more. So these are names in Phoenician and Greek, so we don't need to worry about those. Now, if you ever try to write your name in Phoenician, it is not easy because they didn't use vowels. So that was a real challenge in previous assignments. Okay, so finished project. Again, I'll talk about the process of being able to handle this. Finished project. Rock. Now the lines are a little thick compared to some of the other ones, so I suggested thinning the line down. This is on 8x8" Bristol. We do a tracing paper overlay in class. You do not have to do this for this online class. the grind. So this is an ideograph, combining rock and wheat shaft. Here's the journey ideograph. Little sketch here, that's pretty rough, but a little sketch on suggesting maybe simplifying it even more. The finished boat pictograph. The finished wheat shaft pictograph. The finished instrument pictograph. Excuse me. And the finished wave pictograph. Additional sketches were below. Looks like she was doing some additional sketches on boats and things. And then what we'll do is we'll digitize all those and turn those in as a final. So you'll be turning in research, which many of you have already done, sketches, which are due next week, I believe. Let me look here. Sketches are due Wednesday, January 22nd, or 23rd, excuse me. First drafts are due January 28th, and on February 4th, those are when the finished projects are due. And I will do a demo, a hands-on demo video on how to manage each step of the way, sketches, drafts, and finals. I hope this was useful and helpful to you in understanding what it is we are going to be doing for this project. So hopefully that helps you out. Thanks, and I look forward to see what you come up with. See ya.